Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox. I'm really excited to get back into talking about OKKO consistently because man, oh man, is there a lot to talk about. I have no idea how long they plan to have OKKO go on for. As ENJQ stated, they do already have a finale in mind, although he hopes we won't have to see it for a very long time. But something that feels finite to me is the ongoing overarching storyline of Shadowy Figure. The mysterious hooded man that taunts KO has unleashed TKO and definitely has a hidden agenda. In the past, I speculated that maybe his plan is to turn the entire world turbo. He unleashed TKO, as we saw in the Villains Night In, Villains Night Out special. Venomous created a device to turn Fink turbo, although temporarily, and in my mind, I saw it as something kind of silly yet poetic. If TKO is any indication, having the entire world go under a turbo transformation would address that everyone has demons, everyone has problems they have to work through, everyone has anger, negative emotions that manifest. But I no longer believe that to be the case. Also, if you haven't yet checked out our last video where I said Venomous is definitely not Shadowy Figure, I don't believe he's even working with them, at least not on a consistent basis, so Turbo Fink just seems to be a complete coincidence. So what is Shadowy Figure's plan? Well, everything didn't really connect with me until the episode Carol Quest, an episode that, although Shadowy Figure is absent in, caused me to fill a lot of blanks. Like, a light bulb just went ding 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 above my head. And although it wasn't just Carol Quest, it was a combination of final exams, Boxman crashes, and Carol Quest, I still was able to see the bigger picture. How all these plot threads, Point, Foxtail, Gar, what happened to Laser Blast, Venomous and Boxman's alliance, KO wanting to be a better hero, TKO as a whole, all of these paths will lead to Shadowy Figure. And his endgame is simple. It was told to us back in Season 1 in the episode Let's Take a Moment. You know, that enemy that resurfaced from Gar and Carol's past? What did it say over and over again? Destroy Point. Who was it targeting? Gar and Carol. It saw both of them as people who are a part of Point. Who sent this enemy? Shadowy Figure. Now that we crossed off Venomous as the identity of Shadowy Figure, I have no doubts is Laser Blast. Although OKKO can be pretty goofy, and under normal circumstances, I definitely wouldn't put it past him to have Shadowy Figure be someone completely unrelated. One of the many characters in the background with a goofy design that you would never expect to be this slender, menacing antagonist. But because Shadowy Figure, when he's not collecting globes with a butterfly net, has always been treated with an air of tension, he always steals the show when he's on screen, he's always taken well seriously, I think his identity and conclusion to his arc is going to be taken seriously. Yes, I know, OKKO being serious? I can hardly believe it too. But from the get-go, Gar's past with Point, KO's daddy issues, the mystery of Shadowy Figure, these have all been straight to the point. Let's not kid ourselves. Laser Blast is KO's father. Laser Blast was dating Carol. KO is 6 to 11 years old. Carol left Point 6 to 11 years ago, assumably after the sandwich incident that seemed to have caused Laser Blast's life. In the episode TKO's house, when KO confronts Shadowy Figure, TKO calls out Shadowy Figure for looking so satisfied whenever KO is winning their fights. That Shadowy Figure seems to have a lot of intel on KO, his goals, his friends. They've made it pretty obvious, and for things to go on for this long, I don't think it's a bait and switch. I don't think this is anything too complicated. Laser Blast was mourned, and it's likely that whatever happened to him changed him forever, in a way where he's not happy. It's possible that Laser Blast is now Turbo himself, hence embracing all of his negative emotions as Shadowy Figure. Perhaps he's collecting all these glorbs to cure himself. But one thing's for certain, it doesn't look like Point ever tried to actually find Laser Blast. That they just mourned and moved on. Grudges were held, but Laser Blast was left in the past. And he's bitter, upset about this, as most people probably would be. So now he's hellbent on destroying Point. Why did Carol Quest of all things bring me to this conclusion? Well, just like Let's Take a Moment, an enemy from Carol's past, one that she remarks she hasn't seen in years, is seen in the underground Glorb Sanctuary, one of the only few locations we've ever seen Shadowy Figure collecting Glorbs. Isn't that peculiar? The place that we associate with Shadowy Figure is suddenly where an antagonist from Point's past is collecting Glorbs. And Shadowy Figure just doesn't happen to be around when Carol is on the scene. I have a strong hunch he was watching from the shadows. No pun intended. Maybe from a remote location. But, and again, I'm certain he's Laser Blast. It makes sense for someone who was a member of Point during the Silver Spark Elbow era to possess the knowledge and information of the roster of villains they went up against. And notice how these antagonists from Point's past always come back stronger. Carol remarked in Carol Quest that this enemy she's up against seems to have been upgraded. Now, we don't know all too much about Laser Blast, how good he was with technology. But if my twin brother theory is correct, that Venomous and Laser Blast are brothers, and that Venomous was the evil twin and now they're both the evil twin, I don't think it's too much of a stress that Laser Blast either knows a bit about robots and science, being able to upgrade these enemies on his own, or perhaps he, remaining an anonymous client, commissioned Venomous to upgrade these enemies. Because, as we saw in Boxman Crashes, Venomous is bored. He has time on his hands. Now, going back to Villains Night Out, what does Venomous say about Point? Oh yeah, they're keeping their eye on him. And, as I've stated in my previous theory, Venomous and Boxman now being right across the street from KO from the plaza was done for a purpose. That perhaps KO will begin to suspect that Venomous is Shadowy Figure, the obvious red herring. Well, what if Point already began to suspect the same thing? It's an inevitability that we're going to get an episode where KO accuses Venomous of being Shadowy Figure, much like the other inevitability of Gar finding out Carol is still a part of Point. As we saw in Point to the Plaza, Foxtail and Gar aren't on good terms, likely because of what happened to Laser Blast. There's definitely animosity and grudges on both sides. And as of the end of final exams, Foxtail has been painted in a bit more of an antagonistic light. She's not evil, she just has her own morals of what a hero should be, who's worthy of being a hero, and I believe this definitely stems from a place of that accident, of losing Laser Blast. But Laser Blast, or Shadowy Figure, doesn't know that. He's just hell-bent on eradicating the team who abandoned him. It shouldn't be that hard. Thanks to Gray Man leaving in final exams, Foxtail is now the only original member of the Silver Spark era Point to still remain. Everyone else is gone. Although we can talk about Foxtail in a separate video because the conclusion of the Point Prep Academy left a lot to ponder about there as well. The climax to all of this is clear. Shadowy Figure, even if indirectly, is using Venomous as a scapegoat. Point, KO, and the Plaza will point to Venomous as the identity of Shadowy Figure, leaving them distracted for Shadowy Figure to launch his grand plan. His biggest attempt to destroy Point yet, from the inside and outside. They were able to tear themselves apart without his assistance. It's only crushing them that he has to do on his own. The true identity of Shadowy Figure will be revealed as Laser Blast. And the moment his identity is revealed, his plan will backfire. Why? Well, he wants to destroy Point. But once everyone learns of his resentment, how he feels, Foxtail, Gar, Carol, Grayman, their petty feud amongst one another, their misaligned morals, none of that will matter anymore. Because in front of them will be a friend who's lost his way that they'll all want to make amends with and talk some sense into. And unfortunately, they may not be able to pull that off. I suppose only time will tell. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think Shadowy Figure's grand plan is? Do you believe he's Laser Blast? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts to me at AwestruckVox, or at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you want to help the Roundtable grow, support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks, and your name could be at the end of the video. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things OKKO. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox out.